Meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Euring?
Yes.
And Kish is present. I have the March 25th, 2025 regular meeting minutes of the Amherst Township Trustees. The meeting was called to order at 7:04 p.m. by Lynch, a pledge to the flag. Roll call, Abraham, Lynch, and Euring were present. Kish was absent. Also in attendance, Case Marsh, G. Lynch, and Marasco. 3/5/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring to approve the regular meeting minutes of March 11th, 2025 as corrected. All ayes. 3/6/25, a motion by Euring, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented. All ayes. 3/7/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring. Move to approve that the February 2025 credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy and is accepted as presented, subject to investigation. All ayes. Notes from the fiscal officer: the first half property taxes were received on March 21st. $493,278.52 was received but was not deposited into the UAN system yet. Fiscal officer reported no word from state auditor on the 2022-23 audit, waiting for the state auditor to complete their work. Under audience concerns, there were none. Under correspondence, County Recorder Mike Duran requests will be present at the April 8th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. 3/25/25 at 2 p.m., Lorain County Subdivision Review Subcommittee meeting regarding Four Seasons 168 lot expansion and Sandstone Mill Run 109 lot expansion. On 3/27/25 at 10 a.m., Lorain County Public Health Comprehensive Housing Study. On 3/27/25 at 6 p.m., Lorain County Public Health District Advisory Council meeting. On 5/13/25 at 7:30 p.m., we'll have a bid opening for Rustic Hill Lane concrete replacement project, 170 long by 14 wide, along with catch basin removal and replacement. 3/8/2025, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve the bid opening for Rustic Hill Lane concrete replacement project, along with catch basin removal and replacement, held at 7:30 p.m. on 5/13/2025 at Amherst Township Hall. All ayes. Under reports for ambulance, quarterly meeting of the Sandstone Joint Ambulance District was held on Thursday, March 13th, 2025 at the Amherst Fire Station at 11 a.m. Under zoning, the zoning inspector was not in attendance, so Trustee Lynch reported a public hearing being held on 4/1/25 on a proposed zoning map amendment by Gray Fox of 31-acre parcel 050004800015 from a combination of GB1 and RAG to R1 Con for 62 single-family, 60 by 150 lots located east of State Route 58 on the north side of State Route 113. Also on 4/1/25 Stratton Corners, 65 by 130 type lot conservation development site plan review of 53.7 acres. Lastly, Foundation's Heart Solutions 99-bed nursing home in Sandstone, PDD Business Hub reconsideration. Road, Park, and Cemetery, Road Superintendent Smarsh reported all regular maintenance in progress. The rest of the yard waste grindings were hauled out. A portion of the yard waste grindings was retained for use by Amherst Township residents and property owners. We still have 100 ton of salt to order. We have gone through between 475 to 500 tons of salt this past winter. Trustee Lynch had a discussion on the ODOT salt contract release date of April 2025. Township Administrator Senior Services was not in attendance, so Trustee Lynch reported about the House Bill 315 amendment to AED placement requirements. Under complaints, they're being handled by the designated individual. Under new business, 3/9/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Euring, moved to approve authorizing all actions necessary to establish an opt-in natural gas program pursuant to Section 4929.27A1 Ohio Revised Code, jointly through NOPEC as a NOPEC member. All ayes. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, April 8th at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall. 3/10/25, motion by Abraham, second by Euring, to adjourn at 7:59 p.m. All ayes.
Are there any changes or corrections to the March 25th meeting minutes?
I have none.
Okay. Motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Euring,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Okay, then your financial reports, you have in front of you the payment listing for the first part of the month. There is nothing really out of order in there, although we did get the hazmat that, I just got that today, for Lorraine County Emergency Agency. Otherwise, it's pretty much standard. Our year-to-date revenue, thanks to our property taxes coming in, is $724,071. And our year-to-date expenditures are $342,682.82.
And now looks much better since the revenues.
That looks a lot better not being in parentheses.
What was our big expenditure on that? Our expenditures, fire contract?
For the year?
Yeah.
That's our biggest, probably.
Are any other questions on the financials?
I have none.
I'm going to make a motion then to approve the financial reports and the payments of the items on the payment listing as specified in the documents provided by the fiscal officer.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
And the number, Chris?
4225.
Any update on the audit?
Nope, that's my only thing I have to report is there's no word yet from the state auditor. He did send me a note and asked if I could take another day off because Kiney wants to meet during the day, and I said I could be here at 5 o'clock, and I'm here all day Saturday and Sunday.
They take you up on that?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right, then I'm going to move on. I'm going to welcome everyone in attendance. I don't see County Recorder Mike Duran, and that might be good if he's not here this evening because there's a lot to cover. So with that, we are going to have a presentation by Foundation Health Solutions on a proposed Sandstone Crossing 120-bed nursing home in the Sandstone Plan Development District. And while they're setting up, if the trustees look in their packet, they're going to see Rob Duncan from Lorraine County Community Development sent in a questionnaire that he'll be meeting with us, I assume, sometime in the future to go over. I filled out the way I thought that the board would agree, but I want you guys to look that over. If there's any big objections to that, we can hash those out at a different time.
Neil, don't we proceed? Okay. Good evening. Tom Oster, Amherst Consolidated Properties, LLC, the developer for Sandstone, 6232 Oak Point Estates, Lorraine, Ohio. First, just to give a quick update of Sandstone and where we are as far as progress. Sandstone in September of last year, K. Hovnanian opened up their 55 and better community. Ryan Homes opened up in October. So in the first 6 months, there's been 65 homes sold so far for about $25 million. Those will all be built and on the tax roll by the end of the year. Redwood is building 206 attached single-family homes, which are rental units. They will have 127 completed with occupancy permits by the end of the year. So collectively, between Redwood, K. Hovnanian, and Ryan, conservatively, we'll have $50 million conservatively of real estate value complete by the end of the year. Redwood is going to complete another 25 in Q1. And both Ryan and K-Hov, we had anticipated collectively they'd sell 100 a year. We're doing a little better than that. So probably about 4 years, all the residential will be complete. Along 58, we've got roughly 40 acres of commercial. Prior to us rezoning to the PDD, we were zoned GB1, the general business district, along with much of the other property along 58 and across the street. When we started Sandstone, we rezoned from the GB1 and the RAG to a PDD, and the reason we did that is because, for 40 years that property was for sale, and, the businesses wouldn't come without rooftops, and we couldn't bring rooftops at 1 unit per acre, so we ended up, rezoning to the PDD to get some rooftops to support the commercial. When we did the commercial, we had a concept plan that called for things like gas stations, restaurants, potentially a hotel, maybe a town center, a medical facility. And to date, we've sold about 40% of the commercial. So we do have a gas station going in the gas station location. We have a restaurant going in the restaurant location, where the medical facility was on our concept plan. And again, a concept plan is just, here's what it could look like, but, we can't predict who the buyers are and who the renters are and who's going to come to the community. So where the medical facility was, is the location that Foundations Health, which is a 120-bed nursing home, is looking to go. As part of that rezoning, we had a settlement agreement between us and the township. And the settlement agreement obviously called for, the approval of our residential stuff and Redwood and the commercial stuff. And we didn't realize at the time that, the township's intent was to have GB1 zoning. And when we rezoned it, we have a commercial hub in the front, and we assumed all those GB1 uses would still be available. And the PDD zoning obviously was done solely for the Quarry project years and years ago. And it requires 600 acres. So there's really no place else in the township that PDD zoning will likely go. So January 10th, Foundations Health reached out to the zoning inspector and said, hey, we want to put a nursing home there. Is the site approved for that? He got an email back, said, yes, a nursing home is permitted, so you can do a nursing home. We as a developer negotiated in good faith with Foundations Health to buy 10 acres for a nursing home. They in turn began their due diligence. I'm guessing probably spent $100,000, I have no idea, in architectural fees and due diligence and things of that matter. And then Rob was getting ready to submit everything to the township. And then the zoning inspector said, oops, I made a mistake. I know I told you it was approved, but it's not specifically an approved use under the PDD zoning, because the PDD zoning was made for, the Quarry project, and they specifically listed like medical facilities and stuff like that, and we assume that a nursing home is similar to a medical facility, but it's not specifically listed. A nursing home is allowable use like in a multifamily zoning. It's allowable in all the GB1 districts. It just wasn't a specific use listed under the PDD zoning. Although it was our intent and the township's intent to allow the GB1 uses in that commercial zone. So we're here this evening to have Foundations Health do a presentation. When we did our settlement agreement, we also agreed to a JED, a joint economic district between the township and the city of Amherst. So everybody in our commercial hub, all the employees would pay payroll taxes, all the business profits would be taxed, and 50% of that revenue would come back to the township. So the ideal place for the nursing home is probably Sandstone, because they're going to have a tremendous amount of payroll, a substantial amount of employees, business income, and if it's any place else in the township, all the township would benefit from is, their portion of the real estate taxes, but nothing from the, employees and that kind of stuff. So again, it was our intent to have it there. We did, the PDD zoning chapter of the township does say that the zoning inspector, he can either approve it, deny it, or refer it to the zoning commission. He referred it to the zoning commission, so we had a meeting a week or so ago at zoning commission, and as I understand, the prosecutor said that even though your zoning says that he could refer it, it's in violation of the ORC, so technically he could not refer it. If he denies it, then we have to go to BZA, which we're planning to do to get Foundations Health approved. But the issue with that long term is now the next commercial applicant comes in and it's not a specific use listed under the PDD, and here we go again back to, approve, deny, BZA, and it's going to be over and over and over again. So our intention is under our settlement agreement, we do have the ability to modify the settlement agreement. So we would like to modify the settlement agreement, obviously with the trustees' approval, to allow all the GB1 uses under our business hub of Sandstone, because that was the township's intent, for years and years and years and years to allow these uses, and it just wasn't specifically listed under the PDD zoning for when the quarry project created that zoning. So tonight we're just going to do a presentation, ask questions, that kind of stuff. We would then, like to move forward. Maybe the next meeting, if we can get all of our ducks in a row, see if we can set up a public hearing. So we do a public hearing and then try to amend the settlement agreement to be able to add the GB1 uses under our business hub, which again was everybody's intent, and even the township thought we had that at first, and then came back and decided it was kind of borderline. So with that, unless there's any questions for me, I'll turn it over to.
Tom?
Yes.
I have two questions for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, the first one is, in general, you said you're going to have upwards of, what, 50 million in investment, and I believe it came out at the Turk meeting that at 30 million, the TIF is going to kick in. TIF district is going to kick in.
Okay, yeah, we'll have $50 million of residential property completed this year, another 75 million completed next year.
Well,
Between the
this year, so that for next year's taxes, it should start the TIF.
I can't answer that question. I know we capitalized the interest for a few years because we wanted to get enough property on the tax roll to be able to support the bond payments. So the county's currently short-term funding those with notes, and then once there's enough real estate to support the TIF, then they'll go out and sell the permanent bonds. We're over $250 million of total real estate investment, counting the commercial and all the residential. I think we need 140 million to support the bond payments, and we're going to be there a lot quicker than we had anticipated. So I would say probably another, not the end of next year, but probably mid-27, I would guess. By the end of 27, there'll be more than enough real estate to
Well,
support.
I mean, it's going to start. We're talking about with a start date.
Yeah, David, there's actually two TIFs right now, only in the residential districts, and each one has a $30 million trigger point in the county TIFs. But what he's just mentioned, that the total amount they're looking at that they'll hit sales this year, you got to split that off. Those are two separate districts. They may not hit 30 million either one, but I'm sure the county's going to be watching that. We'll know when we go to the Turk meetings.
Yeah, I think it's a little more than 30. I think the TIF District 1, which is a Redwood piece, I thought was 40, and I thought the other was a little higher than that. But regardless, all of the commercial stuff, we're going to create a TIF for every single use in there, which will just also hurry up and get all the debt paid off. So it's not needed, but we've disclosed it, and all the commercial people are going to be part of the TIF, contributing as well.
Second item I was going to ask, Tom, on that map, if maybe they could go back to the map. Georgie, could you go back to that map? Look right there, that's fine. Where is this located? This proposed nursing home located?
Sure. So we have a 30.66 acre piece, which is right here. So it's going to be 10 acres, right about where my fingers are. We own the piece to the north. We own all 4 parcels to the east. We own the piece to the south and the piece to the west. So we own all the abutting properties around it. But yes, it's going to be 10 acres out of the 30.66 acre piece. We don't have a split done yet because we want to make sure that everything's approved and that their building exactly fits, which we believe it does. So we're just holding off to get through all the due diligence. We'll do the split, convey the property to them, and they're urgent, I think pretty urgent to get started. Yes. And again, they can talk about employees and payroll and real estate investment and those kind of things.
So this isn't necessarily right where you go in.
No, it's not.
It's going to be
It'll be off of
in and left,
here,
down the road a little bit.
Road about, yeah.
Yeah, we split this piece off for a gas station. That's 3.5 acres. We got a restaurant going here on 1.81. So they're going to be 10 acres, which will start, basically here to here. So there'll be another, I don't know what the acreage is here, another 5 or 7 acres here. We got another 2.91 acres here, more land there and here.
Right, but those are my two questions.
Okay, thank you.
Now I have an idea where it's at.
Thanks, Tom. How you doing? Rob Peterson, 9600 Grand Oaks Trail, Olmsted Falls, Ohio, 44138. And yeah, as Tom said, we found this land and we did our due diligence of where to build next, and we really fell in love with Amherst Township. Just looking at the numbers with population and population over 65 and what nursing home is here now, we felt like this was a good place to build. Foundations Health Solutions, we are 65 plus nursing home company from Cleveland down to Cincinnati. So just down that 71 corridor, we have about 65 plus nursing homes with 4 or 5 in the build right now throughout Ohio. All the nursing homes are located in Ohio. We have more than 10,000 employees throughout these 65 plus nursing homes in Ohio. Our owner is from North Olmsted, graduated from North Olmsted High, graduated from Bowling Green University as well too. And our corporate office is located in North Olmsted. So we're here. We don't, do state, multi-state. The resources are all in Ohio, so we're very proud of that, and we don't plan on going out of state or anything. The site of the sandstone, next slide. As we just showed you on that, next slide there. What's her name? Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. So the next slide, we just showed you kind of where, we were putting that 58 is here, and then the road coming in, and there's a roundabout here, so we'll be, like Tom said, right in this area here. Great access to highway, great access for hospitals to send their patients. We have Elyria Hospital in the area, we have Mercy Hospital in the area, we have Avon Hospital in the area, and we're right off either 92 or the Turnpike, so it makes it easy access. Next slide. And just to double what Tom was saying too, this is our site plan for the property here. Our architect here, Todd, has done all these renderings for us here. Here's the road here, coming through here, and then the entrance. So it'll be facing kind of a northwest facing there. And you can see the building here. Beautiful building, reminds me of a ski lodge, but looks great. And then they have the indoor rendering here as well too, from the main lobby there.
How many square foot of building are you talking? 85,000 square feet.
Yep, 120 bed.
Yeah, somewhere around there, about 2 acres.
It's 84 and some change.
So you're talking about 2 acres of roof, right? Okay.
Next slide. Yep, Sandstone Crossing, that's the name that we came up with. We did, kind of piggyback on the Sandstone development, and we will be a 120-bed facility. We will have about 110 to 120 medical and non-medical staff employed at the building. Estimated yearly payroll of $3.9 million. Sandstone Crossing will be for profit, so that will be advantage for the township there. Sandstone Crossing will have skilled therapy, which includes physical, occupational, and speech therapy. We also have a wing that will be designated for ventilator care as well, invasive and non-invasive too. The non-invasive is more like a BiPAP you wear at night, but we will have that capability in a wing there. Any questions on, yeah, Dave?
How many ambulance calls do these establishments generate a year?
A year? Probably anywhere, I would say probably anywhere between 25 to 30 in a year.
Rob?
Yeah.
Just to make clear, because I had the same question, you're talking about calls for emergency medical service with the ambulance, not transport?
Correct. Yep. Well, EMS only. Yeah.
So that's how many?
Let's see, 60. Yeah. I would say 45 to 60, somewhere in that range. Probably 2 a month average. Yeah.
And how about the?
Oh, no, yeah. Well, I did say 25 to 30 in the first time, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, 4 to 5 average, maybe. So it depends. It depends what population you get. I mean, not every nursing home is the same. So if you have real acute patients that required skilled care and they're there and you have a majority of skilled patients, that number rises. If you have more of a long-term population where people, live there, call that their home, that goes down because they're just living there. They're not there for a, medical per se. They do have medical issues, but they're not going through their medical issues at that time. So
We have only 3 nursing homes in Lorraine County, 2 in Avon and 1 in LaGrange, or are there some others?
we have, yes, as of right now, we have 2 in Avon and 1 in LaGrange. Correct.
So we should be able to get the number of calls from those institutions, and we know the number of beds.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The biggest one would probably be Keystone. That's more comparable. They're about 121 bed facility. Avon and French Creek are 82 and 75. Yep.
And then how about with just regular transports that you would do for the patients, not EMS? Do you contract with a particular agency? Do you do your own?
We could contract. We try to do our own just for cost. It is expensive because, they have to pay the drivers. They got to pay mileage. They got to upkeep the vehicle as well too. So we try to get our own van, and we usually have a Sprinter van or a Caravan at the building that can do transportation to appointments that are non-emergency, and also provide transportation for activities too. We're excited, about this land because, we take our residents out on activities to restaurants, to, other things outside, Indians games, Cavs games, casino, stuff like that. So we're kind of excited to have, a restaurant going in right across, that would be great for the residents. They can see that and, and feel like, they're at home and they can go to a restaurant where, instead of putting a nursing home out in the field and, segregated from everything else. And, it could get depressing for the resident at that point. But if they see stuff happening around them, makes it a little bit better stay for them.
Okay. Yeah, the question's coming up about the ambulances just because the township's under contract right now. We're in a district with the city of Amherst and
Sure.
the village of South Amherst. The current winner of that contract is Life Care that we deal with right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'd be interested if there's any transport you can't do.
Yeah.
That they could do. From our standpoint, the better they do financially, the less our cost
Yes.
that we pay to them.
Yeah, we use Life Care at Avon Place, and I'm not sure if Keystone uses them, but French Creek and Avon Place
And
we
they
use
might
them.
be using the Southern Lorraine County Ambulance
Yeah,
District.
yeah. But yeah, I've had relationships with Life Care for about 15 years now, 2015. Yeah, they're a good company.
Okay.
Yes,
Are you a nursing home or are you assisted living?
we are a nursing home. So 120 bed nursing
So
home.
you're able to transport nursing home patients out to restaurants?
Yes. Yep, they can go. Like I said, we have Sprinter buses at some of our buildings. We have large, I forget what they call them. They're a little bit larger than the Sprinter vans. And then we have single car or single transport caravans too as well. But we all borrow from each other. Being so close, we have I think 8 facilities on the west side of Ohio. If we need to borrow someone's van for an activity, we can do that. Or we'll have our own, either one. Yep. We're big on that as a company. If you want to follow a building on Facebook, pick any one of our buildings, Keystone, you'll see we post every week about activities that we're doing for the residents, and you can see they're having a lot of fun with it too.
Okay. I know there was a time, Lorraine County previously owned a nursing home in our township that they had shut down. I know at that time,
Golden Acres.
Golden Acres.
Yeah, Golden Acres, yeah.
And they had discussion about possibly selling their bed licenses, which never worked out. I don't quite understand a limit on number of beds within a certain area. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so there is a beds that you have per county, and it just depends on population. So it just stops people from creating nursing home every 1 mile down the street. You got to have the beds for that. So and our owner, has the beds and will have the beds, and
Okay. So
yeah,
you're already approved.
yeah, we've
of that.
already.
Is that who approves that?
State of Ohio, yep,
Okay.
yep. Yeah, we're governed by the Ohio Department of Health.
Okay. And has Foundation Health ever experienced where they've had to close a facility?
For no, sell, yes, we've sold some facility, but never close. The one I just reopened in Westlake called Crocker Point on Crocker Road and Center Ridge there by the golf course. That out-of-state owner back in July of 23 had to close his doors within like 24 hours because of poor care, poor management, and we bought that building in July of 23 and just spent 10 to 11 million remodeling it, and we opened it up this past January and have 40 patients there already, and I run that one too, so proud of that
St.
one.
John's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my old homestead. That's
Yeah.
where I grew up.
Yeah. So now it's back to where it was when it was the Corinthian, when it was first, when it was the Corinthian back in late 80s, early 90s. It was a really nice building, and just some out-of-state owners in the last 10 years have just didn't put any money into it or anything. So our owner likes to make sure that our nursing home patients have the best, the most beautiful buildings, the best staff, the best care. So that's why, you see these buildings here, and he likes to keep them nice and likes to build them nice. He understands what it means to be, a city culture of the city. You want your city, township to look nice, and he understands that, the nursing homes, we do a lot of outside activities too, where we invite the public in, for Halloween, for Christmas, for Easter. A lot of our buildings right now are just getting ready for our Easter. We're going to do Easter this Sunday for a lot of our homes, and families and kids come in. We do, hide Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff. So we give back to the community a lot. We try to involve our community that we're in with the activities of the residents. So car shows, the list goes on of what we've done. Carnivals. So we're a very activity-laden nursing home company. We like to make sure our residents are having fun. Our staff's having fun too.
And your focus is strictly either people that are rehabbing or people that intend to stay there in a nursing home that need help. There's no independent living.
Correct. Yeah, that's a different category of that. Yeah, independent, you don't really need the nurses, the medical staff at all. Assisted living, there's very little medical staff in an assisted living, and then nursing home is the highest acuity. You have nurses there 24/7. You have STNAs, the nursing assistants there 24/7. Yeah, so
Do you have
it's
any breakdown between the 110 to 120 employees? How many are actually medical staff versus support staff?
it's probably going to be like a 75-25 split percent. Yeah. Because you figure dietary is probably the largest of the non-medical. Then you have housekeeping, maintenance, and then the rest, nurses, STNAs, all the therapists that come through there, management, nurse management are going to be clinical.
You have more in your presentation? Interrupted you?
Yeah, no, that's okay. I was about to turn the page there. And basically just going over the renderings here that Todd was nice to do for us here. Any questions on the building per se? Like what, we have, let me see this one. So I think the way it was broken up, if I can remember correctly, there'll be some dining rooms, like 4 or 5 dining room, 3 dinings, okay.
3 dining rooms.
Yep,
3, probably half a dozen lounges,
half a dozen lounges. Yep,
activities, and therapy rooms.
yep, so activity and therapy as well too,
They
yeah.
all surround the courtyard.
Yep, here's the courtyards here.
And do you have anything yet in the detail as far as the overall footprint and layout? Because I've seen some of yours, they almost look like crosses
Right,
on the site plan.
the inside too, we don't have like the full,
Fully developed courtyards, so you're usable. Did you have any electronic files yet on this?
yeah, they should, yeah,
We can do whatever we need.
yep,
We have a floor plan developed.
Okay.
We don't have the full construction drawings yet, but we have
I know. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is this one too? This one's hot. There you go.
All right, I forgot my instructions and orders.
That's all right.
I was trying to repeat everything he was saying for her in there.
No, we have floor plans. We can share our floor plans, elevations. We have additional renderings beside these 3 that we can share with you. That's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how far along you were on that.
We're probably to a DD development level.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just for, we're trying to break ground in 26 of next year, April of 26 next year. So it'll take about 10 months for construction,
Yeah, this is
10, 11, 12.
This is a new version of the nursing homes that we haven't done this particular floor plan previously. So it's a much more dramatic entry, much more dramatic lobby area, a lot more activity spaces, public spaces. So we think it'll be a huge hit.
And all of our 8 facilities in the west side of Cleveland were all a 4 or 5 star on the CMS rating system, which, a lot of people go on the website where to put mom or dad, they click on that and
Already been there.
yep, yep, yep. And yeah, we're proud of that. And it's just because when you work for an owner that wants to make everything nice and beautiful for the residents, it makes it really easy to do your job and care for the residents and be part of a great team.
Yeah, and one thing that Rob didn't mention about the owner, he's very much into sustainability. So we're right now constructing a building in Streetsboro for him. No, I'm sorry. We're doing one in Streetsboro. We're also doing one in Medina Township. And we're going to be using a new siding product that's made from rice. And I was a little skeptical at first. We set it outside, though, through all kinds of weather, and it performed beautifully.
What was it made out of?
It's made of rice.
Rice.
Right, so, yeah, that's,
Not the rice itself, but the rest of the plant.
yeah.
And we are also making furniture for the building out of that same product. So, he's very into sustainability and giving back to the community.
Do you have more to present?
Nope, that's it. Just another slide, just these pictures here. I think one more with the next slide is kind of a up close rendering of the front entrance there. Yep, got your portico there, covered portico. And then
That's the last slide is the lobby.
Yep, and then we have the last slide, the lobby. So front entrance on the right there, walking into a nice fireplace, nice sitting area, reception desk, and then everything will branch off into the where the residents stay and activities and courtyards and whatnot there.
Right.
Chris, did you have any questions? David, any more?
Nothing at this time.
No, I don't.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We're going to
Yeah,
have
appreciate
some
you guys.
discussion, executive session later about this.
Okay, thanks for your time. Appreciate you guys.
And Rob,
Yes.
if, while they're taking their presentation down, if you want to explain why you're here. And for the trustees in your packet, there is a questionnaire Rob sent out by an email today.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Yes, Rob Duncan, 19 South Garden Street, Norwalk, Ohio, 44857. Here representing the commissioners tonight. Thank you, trustees, for allowing me just to take a moment. The commissioners have restructured community development in the county a little bit to better service, especially our townships. And they have divided those of us working in economic development. So they've divided all the townships, the cities, and the villages amongst us so we can better serve you guys. I happen to be the one assigned to Amherst Township, and I will be your point of contact for the commissioners, which I was very grateful because I have spent an awful lot of my career at Lorain County working on TIFs for sandstone and reading tons of legal documents and such. I was happy that I got assigned here, and Neil and I have worked together for many years. So, but anyway, if you guys have questions on economic development or anything we can assist you with the county, I gave you my card. I will be your point of contact, and I will be happy to help you guys get any information I can. Not that you guys don't have a little bit of a contact through Chris, but
Let me ask, Linda, did you get a card from Rob?
I will.
Did not.
I will give her one. Yep.
Okay, yeah, Linda's our township administrator.
Okay.
Probably the one that has the most hours here physically in the facility.
Fantastic.
The rest of us, the hours are all over the place. And then you had sent out this survey you want us to fill out, and it says you will fill out sections 1 and 2, and we are to do the rest.
Yeah, technically, if you don't fill out that, we will. I appreciate all your work on this, Neil, and getting it around. And then what we want to do is just sit down and talk to you, and just so we have a good understanding, every township wants something different. Some people want nothing, and some people want specific type. Like one of the cities, for example, we sat down with, we found out they only want things in the medical field and one other type of manufacturing, and that's all they're interested in. And that helps us when people call with specific types of businesses looking to locate in the county, who we should direct them to or who we can talk to about that business, as well as there are some townships who we want no housing in our township, and there's other townships that are very open to housing developments coming in. So that just helps us have a better idea over the whole county how to direct people when they come in and want to develop within Lorain County.
Okay, well,
It's not, I mean, it's an official document, I guess. It's a public document, but it's not, there's nothing, it's a living document, so there's nothing you put on there that cannot be changed.
okay, well, let me just ask a few quick questions here. Again, it's fellow elected officials are just seeing this for the first time, but you have a section here, you ask for the municipal millage rate. What is the rate? But then the next question is other local, non-county property taxes. If so, what are the rates? So did you mean municipal rate, or was it county rate? This is on page 2.
Yep.
Item V5.
And again, remember this document is going to the cities, the villages, and the townships. So some of it will apply to you and some of it will not. So you just have to answer the ones that do apply to you.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure when it said non-county, and I wasn't sure when it says other local, non-county property tax. If so, what's the rate? I wasn't sure, did you want the effective rate? Did you want our actual millage? So we've listed...
The actual millage.
Okay, and so we've listed both the inside millage and the voted millage.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have one of them that's just a 5-year renewable if the residents renew it.
Well, I will tell you, you did much more there than most people who have turned these in, so.
Okay. And I still,
And we
think-
appreciate it.
Yeah, possibly, Barb, you might know, if, I know the state was talking about getting rid of replacement levies. I don't know if they did or didn't. Okay, I don't know what they finally decided on that. Hopefully they didn't, because then you just got to put on a renewal in addition. Okay, and then it asks for school districts. Well, you realize in our township, there's 4 school districts.
Yep, which is a little unusual, but yeah.
Okay.
But that's good for us to know, so when we're working on TIFs and things, we make sure we're working with the right entities.
And I didn't list JVS, but obviously all our residents
Right.
have the opportunity to go to JVS also, which has their own, millage that comes out of the township.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there were. and I-
We weren't sure
Wonder how many
special-
zip codes we got here, Rob?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We've got at least 3 zip codes in the township.
Yeah.
At least 3 zip codes. And 4 school districts. We used to have 2 fire departments, but now we're down to 1. And, numerous water companies. Numerous water. Lorraine, Luria, Amherst, Rural Water in northern Ohio. Rural Water in the west section. So we're like at least 5 water companies.
Yeah.
1 gas company that I'm aware of, 1 electric company.
2 electric.
Well, yeah. We get some from Amherst, some from Amherst City, and so we're like a very diverse, fragmented township.
Right.
Well, are you going to be sitting down with, because again, your email act like you'd be sitting down with us later, because there may be some changes based on what was put in here, or the information.
No, just for me to understand that if you guys want to talk amongst yourself, and I could just sit down with you, Neil, that would be great.
Okay.
But if you guys want to each meet with me, I'm open to that as well.
Okay. All right.
Fortunately, I only have 4 townships, so I'm fortunate
lucky
to have
you.
you guys. But I
Are
also
they all
have.
contiguous?
They are not, but I have 7 cities, so yeah, we have a lot of territory we're
Oh,
covering.
good. 4 of your 7 cities are probably the ones adjoining us.
Right.
Want to talk annexation.
No, they're actually not. So mine are
Oh.
up at the top. So, but just the way it falls, I should say I have 4 cities, 4 cities, 4 townships, and I have no idea how many villages.
We've got
So-
Lorraine, Elyria, Amherst, and the village of South Amherst, all touching us.
Yeah, it's kind of like Bellevue. The poor guys over there, they're in 4 counties. So
Yeah, well, that'd be
So,
tough.
it
All right,
is.
well, I appreciate it. We'll look it over and discuss it among ourselves and decide how to proceed then.
yeah, well,
Okay,
thank
but
you.
You've got the preliminary, what was put down. and
Yes, sir,
put-
I really
again, there's
appreciate
no
that.
discussion among the elected officials here on this,
Right.
okay? It just more lines up with.
It's
what
just
our-
a little guideline to help us serve you better. That's all it is. So,
Okay, great.
but I really look forward to working with you guys, and obviously we have a lot of projects going in within your township, and it's exciting to see all the development here.
All right, good. All right, thanks, Rob.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Well, what I'm going to do is since the way we've cleared it out and our road superintendent had to go home ill, I hope he gets better. I'm going to do the motion. We have to go into executive session both for the nursing home, but we also have one for personnel. I'm sure everyone's seen their email. Our zoning inspector's given us 2 weeks' notice. So I'm going to make, I think we can cover all of this at once, and we'll cover the portion where we need, Barb is here from the prosecutor's office to give us some guidance on the nursing home. So my first motion is to enter executive session per Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G3 to confer with the Assistant Prosecuting Attorney concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action, and Revised Code Section 121.22G8 to consider confidential information related to marketing plans specific business strategy and financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance or to negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting the request for economic development assistance under the provisions of Revised Code 715, which are the JED statutes, and 5709.77, which are the TIF statutes. That one particularly for the county, regarding the operation of a nursing home with planned development district. So that'll be my first motion.
Second,
Lynch,
Yes?
Abraham,
yes.
Urick.
Yes.
Now, I've got a second one, and, after we cover that, Barb, you'll be able to leave. But the second one is a motion to enter an executive session per Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G1 to consider the appointment or employment of a zoning inspector, recognizing that the current zoning inspector, Sam D'Ambrosio, has submitted his resignation effective Friday, April 18, 2025. So that'll be my second motion.
Second,
Lynch,
Yes.
Abraham,
yes.
Urick.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we return to the regular meeting from executive session at 9:14 p.m.
That both of them,
Yes.
both executive sessions?
Yes.
Second?
Lynch,
Yes.
Urick,
Yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
Okay, because of the lateness of the hour, I'm going to try and shorten this. Do you have anything, Linda, cover?
Nope.
Right. We do have a prepared resolution here authorizing participation in the ODOT Winter Salt Contract 018-26 to be awarded in 2025 as authorized by Ohio Revised Code Section 5513.01. This is our, it'll be 400 tons. Linda and Kevin have already conferred on that, and that's what's indicated in the resolution here. So that'll be my motion.
Second?
Lynch,
Yes.
Urick,
Yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
4-6.
See, I lost my header there.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I was doing some editing, and I know what happened when I changed the section.
I already have it filled out online. I just need the resolution to
Just sign
scan
it.
in.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, for the trustees, is there anything to report on the items assigned to them?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay, David, remember, real important, if you can't get any of the others, get that information from the facility in LaGrange. And if you can do that this week, I'd
Yeah.
appreciate it. Any other business?
No.
All right, can I have a motion to
Well, our
adjourn?
next meeting is
April 22nd.
April 22nd.
I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second,
Urick,
Yes.
Abraham,
yes.
Lynch.
Yes.